So they turned the anti-Semitism machine on.
Yeah.
It's been a big week.
Did you know there's a Jewish tunnel under Ocean Parkway? I mean...
That's the big news story this week.
Yeah. The Jewish tunnels, which people really tried to suck the fun out of that too.
So quick.
Yeah.
Well, we were in LA. It was the night before our Brian Johnson interview. Mm-hmm. And I woke up at 3 a.m. when I stopped being drunk, or was still half drunk, and then started looking at my phone, and saw the Jew coming out of the sewer, and got really scared. Just got really oh my God, what?
Yeah, Lynchian.
It did give. I mean, it is.
What's my boyfriend doing here?
It sucks that it is anti-Semitic to say, but it's verminous activity, anything subterranean, anything already the Hasids creep everybody out and are a hostile presence kind of in New York.
And even mainstream normie Jews hate the Hasids and try to distance themselves from them because they give all Jews a bad name.
They're extremists, yeah.
Though I have to say, my hot take is that this made me distinctly less anti-Semitic in a weird way, because I was thinking about the whole anti-Semitic caricature industry, the Happy Merchant, and how that trickled down into anti-Semitic Pepes and all that stuff. And that kind of feels like overkill in retrospect, because they're their own anti-Semitic caricatures.
Well, yeah.
We don't need white nationalists and racist anons on the internet drawing cartoons.
They'll do it for you.
Yeah. It kind of defies the purpose.
Well, the most annoying part of the ADL, anti-Semitism watchdog economy. Because that was sort of that. First there was the wave of articles, a massive anti-Semitic response, and then very quickly these articles, before we had even figured out what was really going on, writing about the anti-Semitism, doing this meta commentary about how the real issue isn't that there's tunnels underground and we don't know why.
Yeah.
The issue is the anti-Semitism. And on the ADL's website, and they always do this, it's the thing that does make me feel anti-Semitic is the way that these organizations will frame the idea that Jews are powerful as an anti-Semitic trope when they just simply are.
Right.
They're not, I don't think they're a cabal, it's coordinated, but it's it's just willfully to deny reality, to say that the Jews aren't powerful, and to say that they are makes you anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it's not exactly coordinated in a formal or official sense, but they communicate a swarm of ants or a school of fish through weird sonar, Jewish sonar.
They're cliquey. They always have been. They are entrepreneurial, resourceful. They help each other. They are
Also, the ADL doth protest too much, and fundamentally their paranoia is self-flattering, because at the end of the day your average Jew is not that powerful and kind of midwit, much like most people.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But broadly speaking, they are more, the average Jew is more successful than the average any other person.
Yeah. Well, the
median. I'm just noticing here.
No, you're right.
But also I know what you mean. Yeah. Most Jews are comfortably middle class.
Yeah.
And some of them are a little,
not even that smart.
And some of them are a little bit more of the bohemian inclination, and then their parents are fuck ups and they are downwardly mobile. But they're still kind of bookish. They have certain kinds of capital.
Yeah. That, and the letter signed by 260 Hollywood celebs, which we can get to later, are both classic examples of how Jews are totally complicit in anti-Semitism, but also totally oblivious to this fact.
They have to know what they're doing.
One would think, and yet if you look at the example of like Bill Ackman, right, who ran that entire successful campaign against Claudine Gay in Harvard and started lashing out at other institutions, and now he's like doing a weird thing where he's trying to make excuses for his wife's blatant Wikipedia plagiarism.
Yeah. And kind of victimizing himself as them, like...
And I'm like, do you even see yourself, bro? But we've basically just summarized the thesis of the Cudahy book that I keep referring to.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go on.
Jews are blind to how they inspire and create anti-Semitism. Or what they like to call anti-Semitism. Like they view any sort of conflict or tension as fundamentally anti-Semitic. Or
just stating the simple fact that they have that they're a privileged class.
That they're an exclusive club that demands special pleading. And then when, surprise, surprise, other people exclude them from stuff, they get all like bent out of shape. Who'd cast the first stone? I'm just saying.
But in the case of the Chabadniks and their tunnel network, it really was, like, especially now on Elon Musk's X, I feel like these sort of things proliferate much faster and become like amplified.
Right. And people were sort of speculating as to the purpose of the tunnels, and
already people invoking the blood libel away. We're getting into the Talmud. I still
don't know what the Talmud is.
Well,
it's like a user manual for the Torah.
It's an oral tradition. It's an oral law that was passed down. Tradition.
Kind of like sucking off babies after the bris. They love their oral tradition.
After their temple was destroyed, they maintained an oral tradition and then finally wrote it down into this Talmudic text. It's really kind of like a dialogue and like full of a lot of like mundane autistic like squabbling about various aspects
literally a Talmudic network, like a physical instantiation of it.
Yeah, but it also does say, then you're trying to figure out what the fuck it says in the Talmud, and then you end up on like some of the most anti-Semitic websites you've ever seen. Websites I didn't even know. I'm literally on like fucking. I'm on a list now because I was like trying to figure out what it said in the Talmud, and I went on like neo-Nazi blood cult KKK.org. Jewish lies exposed, like. Pictures of like Jewish guys with like red eyes and like oh my god.
But people were basically speculating that there was maybe pedophilia involved or child trafficking because the tunnels are allegedly connected to a children's museum,
that they were torturing Christian children down there.
I'm really not buying that conspiracy theory because again, all of that is out in the open. They have a straight up religious ceremony around that. They're not exactly keeping it a secret. They don't need like an elaborate and obscure network of tunnels.
Well, they're not allowed per the oh my god. Okay, sorry. Per the Talmud, they're not, as the Talmudic expert. They're not allowed to rape Jewish children. Only non-Jewish. And only if they're
nice
like
of them.
3 years old. So the bris isn't cutting it. That's what I'm saying. But I don't think that, okay? I don't think that. And I kind of understand what they were up to. And I got some context from some Jewish insiders.
From some Jewish incels.
And basically, so I guess this is the party line. This is like this is the narrative that I basically see as being plausible, even though it doesn't quite add up, but it does when you just think about like all the bizarre stuff Jews be doing.
Right.
Which again, their own fault.
Right.
But there was like young kind of extremist Chabadniks who apparently were Israeli.
Yeah, and we're here on like student or tourist visas.
Yeah.
I read that New York Post article where the rabbi of the synagogue was like, this gives Jews a bad name. We got to get them out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like doing like damage control and trying to distance his congregation from this like motley band of extremists.
But the shul in Crown Heights is like the HQ of the Chabad Jews.
Right.
Because this Rebbe, Mashiach, you see him all over like town where it says like Messiah is coming.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking
It's
about.
that guy. That guy used to live there and died there.
Right.
And a few years before he died was like, I guess, hell-bent on like expanding the shul.
Yeah, so they're basically just following his directive.
And they're like teens and like religious extremists, and they're like full of, you know, weird fervor.
And then the news emerged that they hired illegal migrants to dig the tunnels because they kind of hacked away at it for a couple of days and gave up. Because, you know, Jews are not known for their athleticism.
But they are known for, you know, efficiently outsourcing.
Yeah, so they had like
at hand.
They had like
and getting things done.
Mexicans like eating and sleeping up in there.
They were living, apparently. The tunnels, I guess, went to 4 different Hasid-owned properties that were all kind of within the radius, and they housed the migrants in like one of those facilities and made them do the tunnels.
AOC's out there in all white crying.
But the idea, and apparently there's a lot of like, if you are like a insular, highly religious Jew who's like studies the Talmud, there's, I think, a lot of stuff in there about expanding the Jewish faith physically, and, you know, that they, I think they were just kind of like I believe that they were experiencing some kind of like mystical fervor that motivated them to like undertake this project of like, they thought they would find some kind of like redemption or salvation in it.
Well,
they thought they were doing the will of the Mashiach.
They're a band of intense and horny young men who have like the will of God pulsing through their veins.
Exactly. Mashiach wanted them to build those tunnels.
But does anybody know what the tunnels are really for?
They said it was to secretly enter the synagogue or something. I don't know. That's where it kind of that's where it kind of falls apart, because you're like, well, why? But then you're like, I guess it's just their thing. They just be burying.
Yeah, they're like
it's in their DNA.
A relatively esoteric and mystical sect. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like Kabbalistic, you know, they're into all sorts of wacky crap, I'm sure.
Wait, I wonder if I could pull up this take from friend of the pod, seasonal click farm worker.
And we're just simply not privy to it until they like violate some building codes.
Well, how did they get discovered?
I couldn't really figure out. But allegedly they were threatening the integrity of some surrounding structures. But something isn't adding up. But I'm willing to give the Chabadniks kind of a pass on this one. Even though it's all of the same. Like, even the fact that they were, you know, doing construction without a permit is very Jewish. You know, because they don't think the rules apply to them.
Welcome to LA. Here's the tweet. Everyone wants a network of secret tunnels, and very few people have them. I love the way the Hasids pursue their impulses with this almost childlike sense of possibility. You too could have tunnels. Like, bro, I don't want a tunnel.
I don't want a tunnel.
That's the most like Anglo ass take on they have the Faustian spirit.
They have spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
They have chutzpah.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes I see some of these young Hasidic guys, and they're looking pretty good.
I don't know about that.
Not all of them, but sometimes, like, I don't know. You've never seen like kind of a group of them, and they kind of in the suits and everything. They look like the Strokes. They kind of like are indie passing almost, and you're like, who is that? And
vampire
with like with
literally, like they're like sucking blood in the tunnels.
None of the Chabadniks involved in this story I found to be particularly hot, but I have seen like Hasids like at the airport and stuff where I'm like, look at those luscious curls, and I've said this before, but they're not allowed to look
Dasha,
at me.
Do you want to be with them or be them?
I just want them to look at me.
That's literally why you're just mad because they don't. They're like the only men who don't pay attention to you.
I know. Though I was at a bar a couple days ago, and there was in a very like normie part of town, and there was some like chatted kind of like bodega bro style guys who also were avoiding me the way Hasidic men do. They like were not, maybe they thought I was trans or something. They like weren't looking at me at all. And I was like finally like kind of like interject. They were like talking to like friends of ours too, you know? And then finally I kind of like ended up interjected in a conversation, and I totally botched it and like condescended to them about how they probably work in an office or something. But yeah, the Hasids, yeah, they're like, back when they used to have Uber Pool in LA, sometimes I'd be in the car with like a religious Jewish person, and they just act like I wasn't there.
Just like
drove me nuts.
Sit there with their sweaty palms.
They'd be like on the phone talking about shekels.
Yeah. Back in the day when Tinder was first coming on the scene, and all of my girlfriends were on Tinder, and all of my guy friends were on Tinder, they would show me photos of like the hot Hasidic guy of Williamsburg. And I never got to the bottom of that. We need an explainer for that. There's like this really hot guy who was like a Hasidic guy on Tinder.
I'm gonna Google it, I guess.
It was some like modest Yahoo LARP. Oh, I had a request before I forget. Can one of you Photoshop wizards make a meme of that scene from The Shining of Jack Nicholson sitting at his typewriter, but instead of all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, it says "You are Jewish"? Can someone do that for me?
That
please?
Should be easy enough.
Yeah.
No real results, honestly, for hot Hasidic guy Tinder.
Yeah, maybe that's like buried.
They suppress it. Yeah. And hot
from
Hasidic
the New York
guy.
Post. The busted young men were charged with a variety of offenses, including criminal mischief, attempted hate crime, attempted criminal mischief, and reckless endangerment, cops said. Busted. The New York Post knows what they're doing.
I know.
That's so good. Yeah,
there was that sexy police officer in one of the early viral videos.
Oh yeah, that guy who kind of looked like Mike Racine.
Yeah, he's like, we don't do that in America. He's like, no. He's like, we got to clear the whole shul out. We want to get this fixed tonight. But then, then also people are like, why are they filling the holes up with cement so fast? We need to do an investigation about what's down there. And I was like, no, you don't. We don't need to investigate what's down there.
Fuck, I forgot.
Maybe I'm naive. Maybe they are up to some like sacramental Judaica down there, but it's not. I don't care. It's not my business.
I know. I don't really care. I was there for the lulls and the memes.
I don't
This
live in-
was
I don't
like
live
a
in
rare
Brooklyn.
meme cycle that I was living for. Like